Alright, we finally got a trailer that a lot of us have been waiting for. It's The Matrix Resurrections, finally dropped today, and it looks like we're in for a wild ride. I'm finally wearing an appropriately themed t-shirt as well. It took long enough. Now, before we dig in to this trailer, I talk about all kinds of different things on my channel, and if you wouldn't mind throwing a subscription my way, I'd much appreciate it. So, let's go ahead and get to it. So the trailer opens with a shot of the San Francisco skyline. This gives us our first indication of where the movie's going to take place. Thomas Anderson, Neo, is speaking to a therapist. We see a black cat walk across a desk while this is happening, which by itself is nothing, but if you recall, in the first Matrix, a black cat made Neo think he was seeing deja vu. So this is probably a reference to that. Maybe we won't see the cat twice or anything like that, but the cat, it looks very similar. The meow sound, I think, is exactly the same as from the first Matrix. So this is probably just a reference for those who've seen the original ones to point at and go, oh yeah, okay, I remember that. So while Thomas is discussing some of the dreams that he's had with his therapist, we're treated to a montage of scenes. Among these are, we see a guy with Matrix-like eyes, we see someone shooting a gun, we see Neo, or Thomas, grabbing the bullet out of the air, probably from the guy who just shot the gun. We see two shots of someone who is still plugged into the Matrix and is surrounded by machines. You see those spider-like machines crawling all over him. We see this guy who I think is our new Morpheus. We see the police shooting at somebody. Now this could be connected to one of the scenes in the teasers where the police are in a lobby of sorts and they're shooting at Thomas and Trinity. We see some people shaking hands, we see Trinity in what looks like a flashback, we see some more machines, and then we see someone that looks like they're being woken up from the Matrix. All of that before we hear and see someone snapping their fingers and we're back in the therapist's office with Thomas. Now all of that could have been part of some kind of hypnosis that they're doing on Thomas. Snapping fingers is kind of one of those things that they do in hypnosis to wake the subject up. Thomas Anderson thinks he's going nuts.
Am I crazy?
But I think anybody who'd been in a similar situation would think they're going nuts as well. I mean, are you living in a dream world? Were you in a dream world? Is all of this a simulation? Or is it real? You know, you'd be struggling with this. So I don't think it's unusual that you'd end up in a therapist's office and now you're trying to just understand everything that happened. You're trying to understand these dreams that you're having. Now we get a few more shots of some random stuff before we get to Thomas and Trinity meeting up. And it's Trinity that thinks she recognizes Thomas, but we don't really get a response before we get to the next scene. And of course the next scene is Thomas, he's taking his blue pills and now he's peeking at himself very closely in a mirror, and it's like he's trying to hold on to his sanity. He doesn't know what's going on. The blue pills are likely keeping him somewhat subdued, and it's an attempt to bury these memories, likely an attempt by the machines. In fact, not to go on a tangent a little bit, if you recall, at the end of the Matrix Revolutions, Neo allowed the machines to connect him back in so that he could let himself be taken over by Smith, and then the machines would be able to destroy Smith. So it's likely that after that, the machines plugged him back into the Matrix, and now they're just doing everything they can to subdue his memories, because we all know this, he is the one. So they probably have to work extra hard to make sure that he doesn't wake up, and that is probably an additional purpose of the blue pills. Now then we get a few more random scenes before we get another scene that was in the teaser, and this one is, in the teaser we saw someone dumping the blue pills into a sink. Now in this case we can see it's actually Thomas dumping all these blue pills into the sink. We don't know why he's doing it at this point. It's possible that he's decided, you know, enough is enough with the pills. Let's see what happens if I just don't take them anymore. The next scene has Thomas looking at a book, and the book is Alice in Wonderland Through the Looking Glass. This is clearly a reference for the viewer that he's going to go looking through the looking glass, and he just needs to follow the white rabbit. We'll see the white rabbit later on in the trailer. We'll also see the looking through the looking glass aspect later on in the trailer as well. Now, I'm not sure who this is. This could be our new Oracle. It could be the new female character that we've already seen, just with some glasses on. I don't really recognize her. If it is her with glasses on, I don't recognize her. But I suspect that it's our new Oracle. If any of you have any thoughts as to who this is, go ahead and comment below. Now, this is another kind of a neat shot that we see here. We see Thomas looking into a mirror, but the reflection is not Thomas, and he's looking at it and thinking like, what's up with this? And it quickly changes to him. This makes me think that the machines went whoops and because maybe they probably put him back in a different body. We know that people can go into different bodies. That's what happened with Smith. So they probably put him back into someone else's body, and now they're like, oops, because they showed him the wrong reflection. He's probably never looked in this mirror. So they changed the reflection to match who it's supposed to be, maybe not who it is. Then we get our new Morpheus character offering Thomas the red pill and the blue pill, and he takes the red pill, of course. And here's where we get our white rabbit. This is probably being used in a similar way as the first movie. This is a way to give Thomas a clue as to who to follow, who to listen to, or where to go. In this case, it looks like it's being worn by our new female character. So instead of just being a person that's going to lead him somewhere else, and then the proper person is going to pick him up or engage him some way, she's going to lead him. She leads him to a glowing door. She opens it up. They walk through. They come out of a mirror, hence through the looking glass. We then get a quick shot of Thomas and Trinity. This shot looks very similar to the one from the teaser. The only thing, I'm not sure if the teaser scene had this or not, but you can see on the left side, I think it is, of Trinity's face, she's got code streaming down the side of her face. So this could be part of one of the dream sequences that Thomas talks about at the beginning of the trailer to the therapist. Could be that. There's no way to know right now, though. Then we get Thomas and new Morpheus in a sparring match, and Thomas is convinced that this guy doesn't know anything about him. He's probably speaking a whole bunch of like philosophical things, trying to get him to wake up. At some point, we're not sure how long this fight is, but at some point, Thomas explodes against the guy and throws him across the room, and then the whole training facility just kind of blows up. That's that external shot. Blows up and it falls into the water. Next shot, we see a sentinel flying through the machine world, and there's really not much to say about this scene other than that we see thousands of pods that are still plugged into the matrix, and the machines are still watching over them. Then we get a quick shot of a hovercraft before we go back to Thomas and Trinity on top of a building, and it's during sunset. This shot might be connected. There's a later shot coming up towards the end of the trailer. This shot might be connected to that one. We get cops shooting at our new female character as she jumps off the building. She safely lands many feet below. Clearly she's woken up and she's able to do the things that we've come to expect from people who have woken up and are fighting to wake up other people. And of course, then we see an agent take over a cop. We've seen this kind of thing before. I think it happens much quicker. It's snap like that, and this agent has taken over this cop. Then we see an agent who looks like he's about to shoot Thomas. This should be an interesting scene because in the teaser, we see this agent and we see him pull the trigger. So I'm curious if Thomas, he looks like he's going to get killed right here. I'm wondering if Thomas's abilities will manifest and the bullet will just stop in midair. In all the other scenes in the teaser and in this trailer, we see him put his hands up and stop the bullets, but maybe his powers will manifest differently here, or maybe he'll get knocked to the side. Something, who knows? But it does look like the agent does pull the trigger, so we'll have to see what happens. Then we see, this is actually a really cool shot. Then we see a cop. He shoots a grenade across a room, and you see someone run through a door. The grenade follows them through a door, and then they're on a train. So this looks like the keymaker opened up a door onto a train, like they were trying to escape. The grenade blows up, and we see Thomas, we see our new Morpheus character, and we see our new female character. They're all on this train, and this grenade has blown up around them, and they're all just trying to escape. So I mean, this looks like it has something to do with the keymaker. Then we have a quick shot of Thomas fighting someone. This might be in training, but I don't think, it doesn't look like one of the sparring programs. Thomas is fighting someone, and then we see our new Morpheus character. I think this is our new Morpheus character. This guy looks actually slightly different, so it might not be the same character. Before we see an explosion, and then we see Thomas trying to kind of sort of outrun it and just kind of being pushed by it. Then we see someone who's plugged in, but they aren't in the liquid or anything like that. So I'm wondering if this is like some kind of an upgraded system of jacking back in to go try to wake people up, or if maybe the machines have upgraded the way people are jacked in. I mean, it looks really cool, but I mean, it looks like it's not quite being jacked back in, and it's not quite being in the pod. So something, it looks like something different. Again, it's one of those things we'll just have to wait and see. Maybe we'll find out more in a future trailer. Then we get a quick shot of Trinity kicking SWAT butt. This might be part of another scene. There's a scene in the teaser. There's like 3 different scenes in the teaser when she's like giving up, like she was, like she was fooling them, like she was in the first Matrix, where she was kicking their butt as well. I think this scene is slightly different from that. But yeah, she's kicking butt. And then we get another shot of our new character. He's looking at the mirror, he's poking the mirror with his finger, and then he's recoiling because that's weird. I shouldn't be able to put my hand into a mirror. I think this is going to be our new Morpheus character. He's just not woken up yet. So that's why he's reacting the way he is to this mirror, to his reflection, all these things. He's probably in the process of being woken up. Now we get a couple of shots of some random things before we get to a door being kicked in by an agent, and he doesn't just come through. He steps, like he kicks up as he comes through, and then he like flips, and he's standing on the ceiling, or he would be standing on the ceiling, but the shot turns over and he's standing in a hallway now. So it's really weird. And then he's chasing our new female character, and he's chasing, it looks like the female character and Morpheus, and he's chasing them down a hallway. She's shooting back behind them. The new Morpheus, I should say, is running. Then it kind of cuts to another scene. They jump out the window. I'm pretty sure it's the same sequence. They jump out some windows of the building, and they crash down through another window in some other building. There's a lot of jumping out of windows and jumping through into other windows. It seems like in this movie a lot of doing that, a lot more than there was in, I think, the first one or even the second one. Then we get a montage of fighting, and Thomas fighting people and stopping bullets with his hands. And this is likely after he is woken up, or is in the process of waking up, and he's just starting to come into his powers again. He's just everywhere that he's getting shot at, he is stopping bullets. And he's not the calm, cool, collected Neo that we're used to seeing, where he just stood there and held up his hand and all the bullets stopped. This is more of a panicked, this is our Thomas Anderson character. He's much more panicked, and he's moving around quickly, thinking that he has to move everywhere and stop the bullets like that. So it's quite a difference for us, and probably for him. We get, and it's the last scene, I think, in the trailer for a reason. We get what I think is one of the best scenes in the trailer. So there's two attack choppers. They've probably been chasing Thomas and Trinity, but they're at the top of a building, and one of them shoots a rocket at them. Thomas pushes it off to the side and then follows it and steers it into the other attack chopper, which explodes and crashes into the building. Okay, so it crashes into the building, and then Thomas and Trinity are forced to jump off the building. And that's where our trailer pretty much ends. We get one final scene, and it looks like maybe this is supposed to be a different therapist. This guy was in the teaser trailer. He was talking to Thomas, and his lips would fuse together, and it almost made me think that somehow the machines were trying to make Thomas think he was hallucinating. In this case, he just talks about coming full circle and going back into the Matrix.
To be going back to where it all started. Back to the Matrix.
Why he would mention this, I'm not sure. This might be one of those things where he's trying to bait Thomas into reacting a certain way, because something that's not in this teaser, there's actually probably a lot of scenes that are in the trailer or that are in the teasers that are not in the trailer. And I might do another video on that. But a scene that's not in the full trailer is this guy beating up on Thomas. So it's and this scene with him talking about the Matrix likely takes place before the scene where he's beating up on Thomas. Then we get the title drop and the release date. So wow, that's a doozy of a trailer. So much good stuff. Quite a bit. It seems to be that's being redone again. It doesn't necessarily look like there's a whole lot new. It looks like there's some new visual effects, but the story looks very similar. It has been 12 years though, since I think it's 12. Yeah, if my math's correct. It has been 12 years since the last one came out. They are likely trying to just get in a new generation of fans before they continue on the story. It does look like we'll possibly have multiple characters being woken up very quickly though, so we won't spend a whole bunch of time just waking up Thomas. They'll be waking up possibly again multiple characters before we push on with the rest of our story. So that looks like it'll be interesting too. And with that, what do you guys think it all means? What do you think is going to happen? Let me know in the comments below. Now, hopefully we'll get a new trailer before Christmas, but if we don't, that's fine. I'm excited to see this new installment. I know a lot of people weren't happy with The Matrix Reloaded and Matrix Revolutions, but I personally like them, and I'm curious to see where they take the story from here. Well, that's all I got for now. Be sure to hit that like button if you liked the video. Make sure you hit subscribe if you haven't already, and be sure to hit that notification bell so you get notified of future videos. And we'll see you in the next one.